Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome into the Gary Parrish Show. I am Lang Whitaker. I've been sitting in all week for GP. Here with Bennett Doyle. We are live at FedEx Forum, as the intro said, and we're ready to get at it today. We got a lot of stuff. Somehow Memphis is still in the center of the universe, of the sports world.
It always is.
Of the center of the conversation.
It always is.
It's Memphis versus everybody, like it always is. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk to Chris Vernon. Verno's going to come in here. There was still a lot of other sports last night. Stanley Cup finally ended. We saw Caitlin Clark get into it, get a little dirty on the court. Some good baseball stuff last night. NBA draft talk, now that the Grizzlies are back in the draft. That's a conversation we need to have. Plenty of other stuff to get to. Bennett Doyle, how you doing,
What's up,
man?
dude? I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm like following along with all this stuff that's happening in real time right now.
I mean, it all started yesterday in real time during our show.
It did. Yeah. You want to kind of set it up? Like what? Yeah.
So we were yesterday during our show. We're here minding our own business, and Stephen A. Smith comes out and says that NBA players don't want to come to Memphis because they're scared.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. That was a Cliff Notes version. Yeah. Yeah.
And then everyone immediately hears this and is like, "What are you talking about, dude?" And then somebody called 12. John Morant gets on Twitter and starts saying, "Hey, like I'm here for Memphis. I don't know about y'all, but I'm good with it." Stephen A. Smith responds to him last night. Calls him out.
We had that. Yeah.
Yeah. The mayor of Memphis responds to Stephen A.
Yeah, so he said, so this is what we're doing now, Ja. I recall talking about the finals, but the Grizzlies made the news because of Desmond Bane getting traded and your possible extension coming up. Would you prefer I go into detail about what the hell has been going on in Memphis, why players have stated they're not interested in going, or even more details, or would you like me to leave well enough alone and let the great peeps of Memphis address it on their own? Your call, I'm all ears.
I'd like to hear which players stated they're not interested in going
to Memphis.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, didn't he single out Jimmy Butler as part of the?
Didn't
Stephen A.
Jimmy Butler say, like, I don't want to go to Memphis because they're not going to extend my contract?
I mean, he didn't say that outright.
But that was what we heard.
But that was what we assumed.
He never said outright he doesn't want to go to Memphis either. But that was what we heard, was like he wants to go somewhere where they're going to extend his deal and make him one of the high-paid players, even though he's older. And as Gabe Kuhn from 92.9 pointed out, he went to San Francisco where Ricky Pearsall got shot. Like, it's not like he decided to go to the safest place in the world. So yeah, that all happened last night. It was sort of a mess. Now Stephen A is talking about it this morning, apparently.
So Ja, basically said that he's here to stay. Source him, which was pretty cool to see. It was cool to see Ja come out and defend the city, and he, obviously said that. He can't believe they're talking down on a city when the NBA finals are going on, and. Ja
had receipts.
He did. I just thought this whole thing was kind of wild. And he's talking again this morning. He actually talked a lot about Memphis this morning. Believe it or not,
because people are paying attention to him.
So he said, talking about Stephen A. talking about the crime in Memphis. He said it's moving in the right direction, but it's still recognized as one of the worst cities in America, to the point where the head of the FBI called it the murder capital of the country. That's on record.
Per capita.
He said that this morning, said to the citizens in Memphis, I think a lot can be better done for them, and I apologize if anyone was offended by it, but the facts are the facts. Look, I don't... and I said yesterday I thought he was lame as hell for what he did on the show, and I still feel that way.
I agree with you, yeah.
I still feel that way. I don't think he's not wrong about the crime situation in Memphis. Obviously, there is a crime issue in the city that's been going on for a long time, and it's something that's got to be addressed, and it's something that's got to be fixed. No one's denying that. He's right. He's not wrong in what he's saying there. And then you saw the mayor's tweet yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously, the numbers are going down. It's been better in 25 and 24 than it was in 23 when we were at one of the all-time highs in the city. So that's a good thing. I thought the mayor's tweet was awesome yesterday, and laying out real facts and statistics.
Yeah. Instead of just hearsay that Stephen A is bringing.
I don't even deny that Stephen A's talked. He said he's talked to law enforcement in Memphis. That was one of his quotes. I don't even deny that that's true. Stephen A has spent time here. He has. I've seen him here. He came and did his when he was doing his old radio show. He came and did it at our studios at 92.9 a while back. This was years ago.
That must have been a long time ago.
It was years ago now at this point. And we talked to him for a while. Nice guy. And he's spoken in Memphis multiple times. He's spent time here.
Yeah.
So I don't deny that he's heard. People have told him things. Obviously, if you're talking to local law enforcement, they're going to tell you law enforcement deals with crimes. So,
yeah, that's their job.
Yeah, that's their job. So I don't deny any of that. The thing that I just have the biggest issue with is him going on that platform and using that as a reason why free agencies don't want to come play for the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
It's not true. It could be the furthest thing from the truth. He's just completely wrong there. The reason free agents don't typically come to a city like Memphis is the reason they don't come to Portland or Utah, or it's a small market, right?
Yeah.
Small markets don't attract big time NBA free agents. That's done through trades.
But I don't even think that matters. I think free agents won't come to whatever city. It's all money. That's all these. They're all chasing money, and whoever gives them the biggest contract, that's where they're going to go.
Yes.
Which player in the last 10 years have we heard, hey, they turned down more money from a smaller market because they wanted to go play somewhere else? You know, that doesn't happen.
And I just think I don't believe him in what he says about, and I said this yesterday, I do not believe that players are telling him that they don't want to go to Memphis because of crime. I just don't believe that. I think that's a lie. I just do. No, I think it's a lie. I just do. Tony Allen was on with Vernon yesterday. Dude, you just look at the history of this franchise, and I heard Vernon say this too. Obviously, Grizzlies players are beloved in this city.
Yeah.
I heard Vernon say this, and I think it's completely true. What Grizzlies players ever asked out here? In the history of this franchise, other than Pau Gasol, I can't think of an instance when a player's asked out of Memphis that they want to get out of here. Typically in the history of this franchise, this team has re-signed their guys. They brought guys back. They've had guys on second, third, third deals here. So I think his argument is totally off base. I thought it was irresponsible to go on that play. He's apologized. He said he apologized if anyone was offended. Because I think it's just irresponsible to go on that platform, a sports show platform, and use crime in the city of Memphis for your argument about free agency with the Grizzlies.
Like,
I think it's totally lame.
We all feel like we all live in Memphis. You were born here. You were raised here. You've lived here your whole life. I've been here almost 10 years now. I'm raising my family here. We all want to stand up for the place we love and the place where we live and the place where we choose to live. You know, like we could go elsewhere, but we want to be here. We love this city and we love the people here and with the culture here. And the thing I love about Memphis is it has a viewpoint. It's singular. It's not like you're living in the middle of where you could be anywhere in the, you know, like Charlotte. Like what's Charlotte known for? Memphis to me has a history. You know, it's where barbecue and blues and rock and all this stuff comes from, and it has a viewpoint. It's its own place, and it's different, and I love that about Memphis. And we all want to stand up for Memphis. At the same time, like, and this bothers me about all media right now, like not necessarily this story, but everything. Like why do we have to care what Stephen A. Smith says about Memphis? Why do we care what Chris Mad Dog Russo says, or Brian Windhorst, or any of the people he's on with? Like, if you feel something, like, don't let other people bring you down. You know what I mean? Like, I love Memphis, and someone wants to say something crappy about it, cool. Do you? But, like, I don't need to fire back at you.
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
I feel
when
that
he makes it a part of the national discussion like that, I mean,
it's
I was
only
pissed
part of the
off.
national discussion because we care about it, because people care about it, people react to it.
Well, he's good at that.
It doesn't have to.
I mean,
well, that's his job.
You're right. It doesn't have to be that way. I agree with that.
No one has to respond. The other thing is, though, like, if you're an NBA player and you don't want to come play in Memphis, like, I don't think those are the type of NBA players we would want on the Grizzlies anyway.
That's fair.
A player who's scared to play in a place, like, nah, we want dogs. we want grizzly bears. Like, we don't want guys who are afraid to be somewhere or any of that. Like we want guys who are going to bring it. And I feel like maybe that's okay. Maybe if you're a guy who's scared to play in Memphis, all right, cool. Move on. Go play in somewhere else. I don't care.
But that whole part of it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't buy that. I think that's a total lie. I just do not think any players are telling him
also,
that.
So last week, you know, remember like a couple months ago, and they were at the trade deadline, and there was talk about Kevin Durant, and they said Kevin Durant doesn't want to go to Memphis, and everybody got all in their feelings about it. The same way as yesterday. Earlier this week, there was a story that Kevin Durant doesn't want to go to Minnesota. And I wondered, like, do people in Minnesota, are they like outraged by this? Or there's days of talking about it, or are people furious about it? Like, I don't think there was. I think Memphis, we still have this urge that we're going to stand up for ourselves, which is cool. Like, that's one thing we love about Memphis, right? Is that people are here to fight for this city and to stand up for this city. But at the same time, like, at some point we got to turn that corner and be like, hey, this is what we are, and we're proud of it. You know, like everybody else can step off. So it was just a long day of it. And like, I don't think it ever ends.
And it definitely brings out the worst. Like, I hate, like, I've seen people like suggest that Stephen A. Smith is eventually, you know, there's been the suggestions that he's going to get into politics eventually, right? Yeah. And this is like the perfect setup for something like this. Just
Not
this
really.
whole discussion.
I mean, yes,
him,
what he's doing right now is what all these political television stations do. Yeah. You know, like you generate a story. Everyone fights back at you. You fight back at that, and then you cover the fight that you started. And it becomes a news story. Yeah. I remember talking one time to a guy, a media person, and I was like, we were talking about another media person who does this, who like publicly goes out and embarrasses people, causes a fight, causes days of headlines. And he's like, you know, if you and I have a fight, we could sit down and talk about it, or I could go out on the street and pour a drink over your head. And one of them's going to get a lot more attention than the other one. And you know, look, it's ratings. They're trying to get ratings. And they're trying to make conversation that people are going to talk about. And like you said, Bennett, like that's what they're doing. It's politics. It's a circus, right? Yeah. And they're trying to create a circus that people talk about and move the needle. They're trying to get headlines. And it did. It got headlines. We're talking about it.
It definitely did. I mean, they're still talking about it.
I know. It's going to go on for like 2-3 days.
Did. And listen, there's no denying that he got what he wanted out of all this. Oh, yeah. There's no question, because he got Ja to respond. Now he's leading the stuff. That's the weird thing about this whole Stephen A. Smith phenomenon is like it's he's made himself the story in all this stuff. Like it's this weird thing that, you know, it's like that a small handful of guys have kind of carved out in this sports world now, where they've become the story just as much as the players, which is I don't think it's a good thing necessarily, but it is a thing. It is definitely a thing, because, you know, he took this back and forth, and now it's, you know, leading First Take. Like it's his story.
But that's what ESPN,
he's the main
that's
character,
what they're trying to
right?
do, right? Like
yeah.
Years ago when I worked at Slam, I got a call one day. I told this story on the Odds Couple the other day. I got a call one day from somebody at ESPN. They're like, "We're launching a morning show. We want you to come be a part of it." And so I go over to the studio. You know, the show Cold Pizza they used to have? That's what it was. They're starting it. They had me come in. They sit me down next to some guy I don't know, and they're like, "All right, we want you guys to talk about video games. Go on this practice thing." We do it. When it's over, the producer comes out, and he's like, No. See, you guys need to argue. That we need you guys to argue about video games. And I was like, "But we agree. Like, we don't. So you want us to like fake argue?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what we want. We need you guys to argue about stuff." So that's what they want. They want to argue. And then clearly that's the whole goal of First Take, right? Maybe we should give Skip Bayless a key to the city.
Oh, are we going to be on his side now?
We should be on his side, right?
Yeah, sure.
Or I guess they're not on the same show anymore.
No.
Mad Dog?
Yeah. No, I mean, again, just the whole thing, like I said, he got what he wanted out of it.
Yeah.
It's still going today. I'm sure it won't be the end of it, but I just think he's totally off. I think he's totally off.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not wrong about he's not wrong that Memphis has a crime problem. He is wrong in relating that to free agents in the city of Memphis on a sports talk show.
The other thing I'd say,
that's where he's wrong.
I think I've been to every arena in the NBA except for the new Clippers one. I've been to 29 of the arenas, which means I've been to every city in the NBA. I've been to South America. I've been to Africa. I've been to Asia. I've been to Europe. I've been all over the world. I've been to cities everywhere. Essentially, every city's the same. Every city has a part maybe you got to be careful in. They have nicer parts. They have parts where there's nightlife. They have parts where there's food. Everywhere's the same. Some cities have problems that get more attention than other cities, but it's a big world, man. Like there's room for everybody, and to single out a city and say like, "Oh, this one has this big thing that causes it not to be as good as everyone else," is, like you said, it's wrong. It's just not fair. So, all right, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
Chris Vernon's out there. He's going to come in here in a minute. We'll talk more about this, I'm sure, but we also want to hear from him about the Desmond Bane trade and where everything stands with all that. You're watching the Gary Parrish Show here on Grind City Media.
You get to the main event, and you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes the knee off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment. And they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
What's up? Welcome back to the Gary Parrish Show here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker sitting in for GP all week. Bennett Doyle's here. Chris Vernon's coming in hot. Verno says he's around the corner, so we're going to get talking, and then Verno's going to join us here in a second. I'm glad you changed that screen, Bennett. You guys can't see it. Here's a little behind the scenes. There's a screen in front of me that's Bennett's web browser, and he had that Stephen A. Smith clip up there, so it seemed like the whole time we were doing that last segment, Stephen A. Smith was just looking at us. So I'm glad you changed it to.
He was judging our takes on him. Yeah, that's okay.
Our second take.
That's okay.
The first take.
Yeah.
We were talking about the whole controversy with Memphis and Stephen A. and Ja and all that stuff. There's also basketball stuff happening.
By the way, shout out to Ja. That was awesome.
Yeah, off the top rope.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. F your sources.
Yeah.
I'm my own source.
Him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Ja has the him tattoo on his hand. You ever notice that?
Does he?
Yeah, just on his.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
Says him, like a typewriter font. Yeah, it's him.
Yeah.
Source him. The other story going around yesterday involving the Grizzlies was Desmond Bane. We talked about it. The trade happened on Sunday. There was that initial excitement of, oh, wow, we got 1 million draft picks. This is going to be awesome. And then as time goes by, it starts feeling like, oh, wow, we missed Dez. And it's a little sad, and it kind of feels like, and now you're watching.
And the Orlando Magic have posted 5,000 videos of him at their facilities.
Now we're seeing Dez go on tour in Orlando and getting and he thinks everything's like the greatest thing he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And it as a Grizzlies fan, you watch that and you're like, oh, man.
He said he's glad to be out of the dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he said at our practice facility there were no windows, which is cap, because the practice court has all those giant windows. Like you can see it from Verno's studio. You can see into it. Huge windows. Yeah. I think what he meant was the weight room.
Yes, I believe so too.
The weight room is like on the bottom floor of the arena, and there's no windows there. Probably, I don't know. I've never been. I've been in there one time, I think.
I think I've peeked inside of
There's
it before.
a window actually that looks out to where the media facility is.
Yo.
But what's up, Chris?
What's happening?
But yeah, I don't think there's actually windows. We're talking about Dez and the dungeon comments.
I think the dungeon is a great nickname, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take that as a slight. I love that our guys work out in the dungeon.
I think that's where the weight room should be, right? The dungeon.
Yeah.
I hope that is one of those agents for change. For years, they have talked about building a full-on practice facility out east, closer to where a lot of the players live. And I think that probably, I saw somebody posting the pictures of how there are windows. They're usually covered.
Yeah.
So it does look like a dungeon.
It does. Yeah, there are huge windows on the practice court, but down in that weight room, like you're kind of.
Well, the practice court too. I mean, there's a lot of times there's a tarp up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. But I do think, if that becomes an agent for change, that'll be good. It's a nice practice facility.
I like that. Let's build them a new one and then let the Grizzlies employees use the dungeon.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It would probably just be full-time hustle if they did that.
Yeah.
Good point.
Last person who used it though, Grizzly employee, was Jessica Benson, and that didn't work out so well.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So maybe we should stay out of there. We were talking about how the Dez thing, happened Sunday, and everyone's initial reaction is, man, this is awesome. Look at all this stuff we got back. We got picks and players and stuff. But then like the last day or two, we were watching Dez go through like his introductory tour in Orlando, and you start being like, oh, well,
yeah, it's always hard.
Yeah.
It's always hard to watch somebody, that you care about, that you root for a long time, wearing another uniform. But I would say that generally, I think all Grizzlies fans are always going to be Desmond Bane fans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, those 5 fun years, good years, fantastic player, really good guy, good in the community. And so, but that is professional sports, right? I've seen a lot of guys go. I've seen a lot of guys go, and I've seen a lot of guys end up wearing other uniforms. Rarely, though, is it somebody that's kind of like that is really good right in their prime. I mean, very rare. I think the only one Powell is the one, but I mean Powell was extenuating circumstances, and everybody was ready for that to happen when that happened, right? He wasn't good enough to be the featured player on a team, and he wanted out, and he played like he wanted out, and so that one was a different situation. But other than that,
I was trying to think of somebody.
I don't know if there has been another. I should have thought about this before I came in. I'm talking high-level starter.
Right, high level.
That we rooted for. That
in their prime.
The only ones are Powell and Rudy. And those people were ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People were ready for Powell to go. People were ready for Rudy Gay to go.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think. I mean, if you want to say Conley was still a high-level starter, but again. Mike Conley's gonna have his jersey up in the rafters and a statue outside. I mean, people love Mike Conley, but it's not that often that this has happened over the course of the last 2 decades.
Do you think? Looking at this, I was watching the finals last week. I was watching the Pacers and the Thunder, and they, both teams are sort of constructed in a similar way, where you have this dynamic point guard, and then you just have guys who are awesome at defense and shooting.
Yep.
And that's kind of it.
Yep.
And both teams kind of have these wing guys who play the same sort of way. Do you think that's the blueprint for the Grizzlies, for the NBA going forward?
I mean, I think that it's always been, when you have looked at what they have in Ja Morant. Look, step one is having Ja Morant healthy for a majority of the season, right? But if you are dedicated, which they are, to building out around Morant, in the absence of him being he is individually not been a good three-point shooter. Yeah. So, but what he is great at is creating three-point shots for his teammates.
Yeah.
They have not had enough shooting around him. Shooting that also is not a liability on the other end of the floor. And so I think what you have seen with most of these teams, I think it changes every year, right? I think maybe the mistake is to look at whoever won that individual year and then say, well, that's the way to build. Because we're about to watch the draft next Wednesday, and Cooper Flagg's about to go number 1.
Yeah.
So did you look at Dallas and you say, oh, this is the way, right?
Yeah.
This is the way to build out around this guy? Or did you look at Boston? Is Boston now the way? Should he have, everybody said, oh, you're going to need wings. That's what you need to do, right?
Yep.
And obviously, the Warriors ruined it for everybody for a long time, because the Warriors. So I think sometimes it can be a fool's errand to plan and to say, okay, this is the method. I think you need to build individually, right? I don't think you always need to look at others, because what the Warriors had this team, and then people said, well, this is the way, if you're going to be able to beat them, and this is the way. And so then everybody started shooting a million threes, even though they didn't have, right? And so it looked terrible because they didn't have Steph Curry and they didn't have Klay Thompson. And so I think you need to play to your strengths. 2 years ago, Denver wins the title, Minnesota goes, and it worked out for them, and they ended up getting to the West Finals. But you go, oh, we got to have somebody to deal with Jokic, right? That's the trick.
Yeah.
We need somebody to deal with Jokic. And so now this team won, so that's the trick. That's what we need to do with, right? The Knicks, they built with Boston in mind, right? I go and get OG Anunoby. I go get Mikal Bridges. They didn't play Boston.
Yeah.
They played Indiana. You know what I mean? They played Indiana. They didn't play Boston when it came around. So I just think that sometimes I think you need to look at, and I know that everything in the league is a copycat league, right? And so, right, the Spurs were really quiet with the media and never let their players talk to anybody, and so then everybody started copying that. Now that will be a profound, horrible effect on everybody for Oklahoma City because Sam Presti talks twice a year and never doesn't, and their players, their players are actually at least they've done interviews in the finals and whatnot. But they don't have a media market. Like everybody has to be themselves, right? Everybody has to be themselves. Front offices have to be themselves. Organizations need to be themselves. Teams need to be themselves. And there's always best practices, but I don't think that you always look at who won that year and then say, that's what we need to do.
Didn't it feel, though, in some ways like Taylor Jenkins was trying to do that? Like he comes in last year and runs an offense no one else runs. He's going to play guys 30 minutes at a max, he's using a big bench. It was pretty much, he said, why shouldn't we zag when everyone else is going one direction? It felt like they were trying to do something different, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know if that was all of, again, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll never know if that was all of Taylor's choice or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Guess we'll see if he gets another coaching job and how he conducts himself then.
Right? He's interviewing with the Knicks this week, right?
Yeah.
It has always felt like, they were all in, as they always say, alignment, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's pulling the same rope. So there was it's an organizational philosophy in what they do. I don't think that he was the Mike Malone doing what Calvin Booth doesn't want him to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right. So with all this being said, Grizzlies bring in Cole Anthony, KCP, 4 first rounds, a swap. What do you think the next move is?
I think another wing.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Draft,
that's what they've. I think.
Trade?
No trade.
Yeah.
I think that's what they have been. You could just read the tea leaves. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith. Obviously kicked the tires on Jimmy Butler at one point. Obviously, tried to get involved in the KD mix. How many times do we have to see this, right? They're all like an archetype.
Yeah.
It's like we have Ja, we have Jaren, we need an elite level scoring wing, right? That's not diminutive two guard, right? We had a Lillard McCollum issue with John Morant and Desmond Bane.
Yeah.
Now listening to them talk about Desmond Bane being
defensive lockdown.
My God.
Hard-nosed defender.
He was a good. He's
fine.
He's a good defender. He's a solid defender. Yeah.
He's also a guy that you can go after with size.
Yeah.
Right. And he's not one of those guys that you're worried about switching on to you.
Yeah.
And you've already got one defender to hide.
Yeah.
So makes it tough.
It makes it
tough. He's not. That's not his forte. Desmond Bane is one of the best shooters in the world. Mm-hmm. Literally one of the best shooters in the world. I think he's going to be fantastic in Orlando. But I totally understand why it might not be the ideal fit, especially. This is the most important with a $200 million contract.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you've got 3 that you're paying a fortune to, that's got to be the 3 because you're not going to have enough money the rest of the way, right? That 3 has to be good enough. Mm-hmm. And they decided that 3 was not good enough, and I agree.
I said the other day, look at Denver. They have their 3 they're paying all the money to. One of the 3 is maybe the best player of his generation.
Right.
And one of the best players ever.
That's right.
And it wasn't good enough.
That's right.
So, they got to figure out how to get better long term. The Grizzlies got to figure that out also. I saw you were on Bill Simmons' podcast. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I assume you were talking about this Stephen A. Smith story.
Well, we had been texting a bunch, because I jumped him for Bane comments because Bill had said when he was with Russillo, he was like, he had just gone to the NBA Finals in Indiana. And he's like, I was in Indiana and I watched. And he's like, I'm watching that NBA Finals. And I'm like, Desmond Bane is the kind of guy that could play 35 minutes in a game like this. And I then yelled at him and I said, Bill, it happened a month and a half ago, and he couldn't dribble or shoot. Like, we literally played Oklahoma
Like, it's
City.
the same team, yeah. Right.
So
times.
no, I mean, it's not. We don't have to think about what he would look like against Oklahoma City. He was 7 for 32 from 3 and couldn't dribble against any of them. Any of them. Yeah. He had that one big first half. Right. The second half, he couldn't touch the ball. Yeah. Like, they put Lou Dort on him, and it was like he might as well have gone to Des Moines. I'll just say that. So the first part was just an argument about the Desmond Bane deal, and my fury of, for 5 years, nobody loved Desmond Bane. And the second he got traded from Memphis, everybody has loved Desmond Bane. Yeah. Oh, they love Desmond Bane. And now Orlando's a title contender. Oh, like, if we would have kept him, nobody would have cared.
No. Nope.
Right? So that's
they
my...
would have said, our core's not good enough.
Yeah, that was my reluctance. And then, of course, he teed me off about the Stephen A. comments, because that got a bunch of laughs in our group text. So we just decided to do a podcast last night after we had been texting about all this stuff. And, I told him the same thing, which is, have you ever heard it said about any other city in any other sport? Ever? Mm-hmm. Have you?
No, I couldn't think about it.
I mean, we've been sports fans for what? Our whole lives.
I can't.
Yeah.
Our whole lives, we've been sports fans. That's never been said. Yeah. I'm from St. Louis. Right? Mm-hmm. Dangerous place. I've never heard anybody say, you don't want to be a Cardinal. It's dangerous to St. Louis. You're from Atlanta. Yeah. Can you imagine if they said, Atlanta can't get free agents because there's crime in Atlanta? Yeah. And there is a tremendous amount of crime in Atlanta. Detroit, L.A.
Baltimore.
And here's my problem. This is not a new franchise. This isn't like we just showed up.
Yeah.
We've been here for 25 years.
Yep.
25 years. As far as I know, again, maybe something was covered up by the authorities. As far as I know, we haven't had some kind of crime problem with an NBA player for Memphis or an opposing player. I have never heard of an opposing player having a problem. No. How is that possible? Honestly, it's shocking. Right? Like, I mean...
Yeah.
In all the years, have you ever heard of somebody?
No. The only thing I can think
having
of was
a crime problem.
When WWE was here,
wild.
And you got to think when
WWE was here, Rusev's hotel room got robbed. Somebody took his laptop. So one time,
again, somebody texted me. They're like, "Didn't Jaws' house get robbed last week or last year?" It did. But that was the same guys who robbed Joe Burrow and a myriad of athletes. That was a national sting. Yep. Yeah. That was right. They got unless
it wasn't a Memphis thing. It was
right. But I mean, so that to me is what was the most infuriating, is that it's never been said about anybody else. And why have no players? As far as I know, again, I've been covering the team since I've been here. Mm-hmm. Nobody has not re-signed if the money was even. Yeah. Nobody.
Never. Nobody has. They've always kept their guys.
Nobody has asked to be traded.
Yep.
I mean, so if people don't like playing basketball for the Memphis Grizzlies, what is the evidence to suggest that? So don't give me that some guy said that to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're fighting the perception anyway. But in Memphis, and as is the case in many small markets, I would argue these guys get treated like royalty.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they also live like kings, and they also, like, I promise you, where they live, there's not a crime problem.
No.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is the same truth of every professional athlete, right?
Yeah.
You don't go play for the Lakers and get a house in Compton.
Yeah.
They're in Bel Air.
Right.
With a gate.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Do you think these guys are in, like, harm's way? Like, again, as you were saying, every city.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want it to take away, because this is what the problem. Sometimes we dig in so deep that it makes it feel like we are ignoring what are real problems.
Right.
We have a very serious crime problem in this city. As Mayor Young has tried to say, it's getting better. It's still not good enough. Nobody should be living in fear. Nobody should be worried about,
their car getting stolen or broken into. Right.
Correct. So that's where sometimes, right, you dig in so deep that it makes it feel like you're defending or that you're okay with the way it is. Nobody is okay with the way it is. That is a totally separate discussion to me than are professional athletes uncomfortable playing in a city?
Yeah.
Right? Are people uncomfortable? Do they say, I don't want to go play in Memphis because it's dangerous? And why then has that never been? Why is that the case? Because who has been the victim of danger in 25 years? And the second thing is, how has that never been said about any other city ever?
Yeah.
Right.
And now he's digging his heels in on it,
Yeah,
right?
and that's where he's he's not wrong that there's a crime problem in Memphis. He's lying that players are telling him that they're not coming to Memphis because of a crime problem.
And that has a profound effect when people are watching that on television.
Yes. It's irresponsible.
It does.
Yes.
I still don't think it has an effect on athletes coming here, though. Like, if the Grizzlies offer more money or a better opportunity than another city, guys are going to come here. It has nothing to do with how's the crime.
Look,
what players ask that?
Here's the other thing. It's like free agent wise, right? Free agent wise.
Yeah.
Bro, we're not stupid.
Yeah.
But crime ain't the reason they don't want to come here.
Yeah.
They don't want to come here because we're
not going to extend them.
No, we're also not the design. Come on. I love it here. You love it here. I've been here 25 years. Yeah. If I had $10 million and my choices are living in this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's the same reason they're not going to Portland.
I totally understand if you don't come here, if you don't live here, if you don't have family here, if you don't understand the South, if you're not, right? If this isn't a part of you, then yes, like, bro, to me, crime is so far down the list as to why you would rather be in Miami than Memphis.
The guys are looking to play. They're looking to get paid.
You know what I mean? And honestly, like, their days are, you would have to, again, there's all manner of players that have played in Memphis over the years, right? I would say, 90%? I'll give it 10%. 90% have loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard anybody?
No, just Chandler.
Just Chandler.
That's it.
That's first I'm thinking.
He had every reason to not like it.
Parsons took the money.
His home fans booed him.
He could have turned the money down.
That's right.
He took the money.
But his home fans booed him. Yeah. And when he went out to bars, he got yelled at. And he made $90 million for nothing. Yeah. So, if he doesn't like it, so what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was not the market for Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons was having to again, if you're trying to fly in Instagram models, it's not the best city to be in.
We're centrally located. Huh? We're centrally located.
Yeah, but
it's an easy flight from anywhere.
But we ain't got as many flights.
That's true. Yeah, you probably have a layover.
We don't have as many flights.
Probably got a layover, yeah.
And these bitches ain't trying to ride Spirit. Sorry.
Fewer direct flights.
Oh, man. Nothing wrong with Spirit. Nothing wrong with Spirit.
Yes, there is. Those jokers left me.
Did they?
Left me. And
my
family
had a Spirit
holding
problem.
my bags.
Yeah.
Where? Here?
Yes.
I didn't hear that story.
Bro.
Yeah, we got time. Go ahead.
On our way to Orlando.
Yeah.
My kids have fall break. I have spent thousands of dollars on Universal Studios. We're going to stay there. And on, I guess, a Friday morning, we're flying out. We got an early flight. Like, let's say it's like 7 o'clock, something like that, right? We're going to get there, whatever, the hour and a half beforehand, whatever it is. Like, we leave super early from the house. There is a wreck with 2 fire trucks on 240. I have no means to get to the airport. I'm stuck now, and I'm just waiting. So we get to the airport at 6:10. By the time I get all kids hustled up, the bags, whatever, we get in at 6:20, and there is nobody. There's nobody at the
counter
to check in. I'm like, where is everybody? I walk down. They say they leave. The same people that run the desk are the same people that run the whatever.
boarding pass check-in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Call the numbers. You can't get a hold of anybody.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's nothing. Bro, I had to book another flight. Allegiant.
Yeah.
Allegiant. I had to book an Allegiant flight 3.5 hours later just so we could get there.
Yeah.
So I booked the flight for Allegiant 3.5 hours later. And my wife's like, hey, Chris, I just noticed. She's like, this is a different airport. Allegiant goes to Sanford.
Oh, no.
Not MCO.
Yeah.
There's
in Orlando, you mean? Yeah.
Correct. So now we're like an hour and 20 minutes from where we're staying.
Yeah.
Right? So on the plane, I'm not kidding. Everybody's so mad about all of this.
Yeah.
And I can't control any of it. I booked a limo on the plane.
Nice.
So that when we got to, so that everybody,
nice, yeah.
yes. I mean, it cost me, I think it was $280.
You're throwing good money after bad money. At that
Correct.
point. Yeah.
And because I was like, I got to find a way to make everybody happy.
Yes.
And if a limo pulls up for our hour and 20-minute ride, then maybe I can fix this. And I mean, again, everybody's still pissed. but the limo was awesome, right? So that was cool.
That's good.
But yeah, and then we flew Spirit on our way. Again, some of them, it's so cheap. Yeah. And it's so quick because they do all the one ways.
Yes,
that every
cheap.
time they screw me, I say I'm never doing this again, and then I end up doing it again.
You're looking at flights, yeah.
Because, but we flew back from Vegas in Summer League last year. We were at the baggage claim for 2.5 hours. We landed at like midnight. We were there until 2:30. I mean, you want to? There was almost a riot. Guess what? There's nobody at the airport at 2:30.
Yeah.
So there's nobody to talk to about where your bags are.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're just and my golf clubs. I brought my golf clubs. So I didn't even care about my bag. I was like, you can have it. It's just a bunch of toiletries and clothes I can replace anyway. I don't care. But I needed my golf clubs. And we're just, I mean, they stink. They stink.
My wife and son flew Spirit somewhere, and their bags got lifted at baggage claim. Yeah, just never. They were like, sorry, somebody took them.
There's nobody. Yeah. That's the problem. There's nobody to call.
I know. Yeah.
There's nobody to call if it happens.
Well, when people come after Memphis, we call you.
I mean, right. Look, I don't. This, as my father would always say, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Right. People are gonna be mad at Stephen A. Smith forever.
Yeah.
And it's
his job.
And he got what he wanted out of the whole thing.
Huh?
He got what he wanted out of the whole thing.
Yeah,
like he's the story again today, right?
People still
he
talking.
makes himself the story.
Did you see the clip this morning?
Yeah.
Well, what a hero Windhorst is. He's like, okay, now to basketball. After he reeled off like 5 minutes of
crime statistics.
Yeah. I saw somebody tweet out, they were like, in Memphis, it's so dangerous, they'll shoot you in the face. And then he lists off all the crime statistics, and then Windhorst is like, all right, well, now back to basketball. And Stephen A's like, he'll shoot you in the face.
Oh man, damn,
so good.
Yep.
All right, we'll let you get ready for your show. You'll be on in an hour and 15.
Yep.
I think that's right.
I think that's right.
I may
too.
just have Roser do it.
Cool.
I'm tired of talking. I've talked enough for the last 3 days. Right? I don't want.
I'm not used to talking this much. I got home yesterday and like my voice is gone. I'm like this is not. I'm not used to this. All right, we'll take a
GP
break.
really ran away from this
from
week
the week
too.
like the Bane trade. This
did
story.
they lose last night?
Yes, 10th
The Braves?
inning. No,
I
the
mean,
Braves won in
the Mets?
The Braves won in the 10th inning.
And
After I saw they were down 4-1,
Mets were
right?
up 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th. The Braves came back and won the
So
game.
he saw a loss.
and his Murray State Racers got blasted by my Arkansas Razorbacks.
And it rained.
Was that the no-hitter?
Massive
they
L
got
this week for
And the
GP.
Braves game, they had the hour and a half rain delay before the game.
So now we just need the Thunder to lose to cap it off.
You're damn right.
Bad
we need
luck,
a game
Gary.
7.
Bad luck,
please.
Gary.
Yes.
Bad luck,
When
Gary.
is game 6 tomorrow?
He went
Tomorrow
all the
night.
way to Atlanta to watch the Mets lose in 10.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully they
I'm
lose
happy
again
about
tonight.
that. I need to text him what a loser he is.
Please do.
I will.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll be back here in a minute. Gary Parrish Show, Grind City Media.
What can the Memphis Grizzlies learn from the Thunder Pacers NBA Finals series?
Your style of play is not something that you really have to change. Both of these teams love to play fast. Both these teams love to play really aggressively on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies at home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled. And Ortho South, they understand this better than anyone. Since injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, on evenings, and even on Saturdays. So the next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. You can just walk in, and Ortho South, they will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org.
Welcome back to the Gary Parrish Show here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker sitting in all week for GP along with Bennett Doyle and Kyra, and we're going through the whole Grizzly situation. Now let's look at the wide world of sports in 5 things.
Number 1.
What was number 1?
Stanley Cup.
Okay, I'm going to order off.
We have a champion. There's a champion in the NHL. Bennett.
Yes, okay.
Come on.
Yes, we have a champion.
The Stanley Cup remains in Florida, South Florida.
For what?
Second year in a row, back-to-back champs.
But Tampa won 2 of them in a row,
true.
too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We're on like 4 or 5 seasons in a row that Florida's won this thing.
Florida dominates hockey.
They
in North
dominate
America.
hockey, which I think that could be a problem for the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking about the grand scheme of the sport. I'm not sure that.
Well, maybe not, because you figure like people in Canada are going to watch no matter what, right? Like that's the national sport, I assume.
Yeah, and they had a Canadian team.
Yeah, and although the Canadian team had not won the Stanley Cup since 2005 or
Correct.
6, something like that. So it's been a long time since a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup. But a Florida team wins it again. You would think maybe like people are moving to Florida. That's retirees getting down there. They got nothing else to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe hockey will catch on in Florida. People start watching. I don't know.
Sam Reinhart had the hat trick. Well, he had 4 goals last night, actually.
Did you watch any of this game?
I did. I watched the whole thing.
I was watching.
I love playoff hockey. I'm not going to sit here and act like that I watch a ton of regular season hockey. I'm locked in during the playoffs every year.
When I moved to New York City, I thought, because I grew up in Atlanta, and there was no team there. And I thought, well, when I moved to New York, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get into hockey. I live in Manhattan. I'm going to be a Rangers fan. Like, that'd be cool, right? The Rangers, one of the old teams in hockey, they play at Madison Square Garden. And then I just never watched. Like, there's so much other stuff going on and things I liked, and hockey is just kind of far down on my
Well,
list.
and then for us, like it being during the basketball season, during the NBA season, it's
like,
tough.
You'd probably rather watch college basketball than hockey.
Like
right?
I'm watching a regular season NBA game over regular season hockey.
Me too.
Almost always.
Unless maybe if you had a team, you would watch, right?
If I had a team, I would watch. I mean, I actually.
If you're like a St. Louis Blues fan, you'd watch them play, or the Predators, right? Like.
Yeah, I kind of root for the Sabres because my wife's family's all from Buffalo and they're all diehard Sabres fans, but they suck. Like they've sucked for a long time. So yeah, I don't really have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, it's hard to. I was watching the Braves game last night. I was watching the Fever game, and I flipped over to the hockey game, and they were already 2-0 after the first period, and it was like, all right. We've seen this in this series. I saw some stat today that the 3 of the games went to overtime, right? And there was like a 1-goal differential in those 3 games. In the other games, the Panthers won 16-4. Like they just dominated Edmonton. And when they got up 2-0, I was like, I think I know where this is going. I turned over to the very end when they actually clinched it, and like all the teams skated out there with like 10 seconds left and celebrated and watched that. That was kind of cool.
So pissed because Sam Bennett, who's scored like 1 million goals in these playoffs, I had a little money on him last night, and he didn't score last night, but he did win the most valuable player. So it's like, come on, man, you can't give me 1 goal. But no, it was fun. I was wrong. They've actually it's 4 of the last 7 that Florida's won. Yeah, the Colorado and Vegas won in 22-23. And it's been since '94 since Canada's won. I mean, I do think that actually matters a little bit. I'm not sure that it matters in the grand scheme of like the ratings, but I do think that it matters just as far as like the care for the sport.
It's sort of like when the Raptors won the NBA Finals that year, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, now people in Canada is going to embrace basketball. Yeah. This is great for the sport. It's great for Canada."
Yeah.
But imagine if the Raptors won the NBA Finals every year for 30-something years in a row, and no American team wins it. Like at some point,
there would be fatigue in the States.
Like,
yes,
and the opposite. Like there, So I think in Canada, people probably are like, "Hey, like, can we get a team that's good here? Like, what's the deal with this?" So,
yeah. So Florida, they are your Stanley Cup champs.
Congrats,
yeah,
Panthers.
Congrats. I don't really know what it means for their future. I should have probably done a better roster breakdown of who they're going to bring.
Well, I know
back
they
next
went out
season.
and they got before this season. Brad Marchand, who had played on the Bruins like his whole career, comes in and wins the Stanley Cup. And the Bruins also just traded Rafael Devers, who apparently now is an awesome teammate.
No, the Red Sox,
yeah, he's willing to play any position and all the stuff he wouldn't do in Boston. So for Red Sox fans, probably a rough.
I will
week
say,
or two.
because I know that like the numbers are down, TV numbers are down for hockey, and this was it could have gone 7 if Edmonton would have won, but these games were pretty lopsided. Like I don't. It wasn't like the best.
Well, there were some overtime ones.
There was some overtimes, but like this one last night was lopsided as hell. It was over
3
quick.
overtime contests. Final score of those 3 games: 13-12 Oilers.
Yeah.
Total score in the other 3 games: 16-4 Panthers.
Right. So I guess my question to you is, do you watch more or less since they got that new TV deal a couple years ago?
Probably less.
Really?
Yeah, because
I actually see.
You're talking about the games on TNT and stuff.
Yeah, because it's just on my TV more on TNT, ESPN.
But previously, the Stanley Cup Finals was on ABC. Like I used to see it. I'd flip by there, and it was.
Dude, when hockey was on NBC Sports, when that was still a thing, like I never watched.
No, I didn't either.
Never.
I would actually though, the Stanley Cup Finals are always during the NBA Finals, and when I was covering the NBA Finals, like for NBA TV and Slam, and I was traveling to the NBA Finals, they stagger it, right? So you can watch the Stanley Cup on the nights the NBA is not happening, and you'd go out to eat dinner, you go to a bar or whatever, like it would be on ABC, it would be on one of these things. Yeah. I feel like now, like I have to search for it on TNT, and the regular season games, I don't ever like stumble across them. You know, they're not in that sports tier of channels where you're kind of used to looking. So I don't know. I feel like I watch less, and I know the rating's been bad. I don't know how they fix that.
Yeah. Number 2.
All right, it was like an awesome night of sports, actually. Not locally, like we didn't have any really local stuff going on. Although my Hogs, they will advance and play LSU tonight on ESPN, I believe.
Yep.
So excited about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But like last night, I had the Stanley Cup final, I had the College World Series, and then I had this Fever Sun game on all at the same time. And it got wild in Fever Sun, really wild.
So I was watching baseball, and I checked the Twitter, and somebody tweeted, like, early in the game, there was a play where Caitlin got bumped, just like a smaller bump.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, hey, it's starting to get a little chippy in this game. So I switched over, and right when I switched over to the game was when Caitlin Clark got decked by, like, the entire Sun team comes running over and pushes her, and she gets knocked down. She gets poked in the eye. Everything went crazy there all at one time. I think do we have video of this?
10-point lead for the Fever. Midway point, third quarter. Sheldon all over Clark, and they get into it a bit here. Lexi Hall now gets in Sheldon's face. Caitlin Clark hits the deck. Big Ten against Big Ten, Ohio State and Iowa. Both in the same draft class last year.
It is getting spicy in Indiana. And part of that has been J.C. Sheldon and Caitlin Clark just going at it all game. Watch when Caitlin Clark is trying to create some space. It looked like she just got hit in the eye there.
And Marina Mabry. I missed that one, Edona.
Oh, I missed that one too. Yeah, it looked like Caitlin got hit hard, both by J.C. Sheldon and Marina Mabry there.
I would not be surprised
Somehow
if
that
there
was a technical on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and okay, so like you heard him say, J.C. Sheldon and her, same draft class, they got beef from their Big Ten days playing against each other with Iowa and Ohio State. And it had started, actually, to what you were saying, it started earlier in the game. Those two got into it, and Caitlin Clark was like, I can do whatever the F I want. They're kind of in each other's face. First off, this was a lot of fun, this whole game. It wasn't
really
the Fever dominated pretty much from start to finish, and the Sun aren't very good. But it was fun to watch. And then you had the Sophie Cunningham part at the end where she gets, I think we have that one too, don't we?
I don't know, but that part of it was like when that play happens, when Mabry gets in, when Sheldon gets into it with Caitlin Clark, Mabry and some of the other Sun players run up there to get to be a part of it. Like they all run into it, and there weren't a lot of Fever players who kind of jump into that right there. Maybe they weren't close by, maybe whatever reason they didn't come to Caitlin Clark's defense, if you notice. So later in the game, I think it was Sheldon, right, who has the breakaway layup.
Yes, it was her.
Yeah, and one of Caitlin's teammates came to her defense in that instance. Do we have the video of that one? I don't know.
Golson had it knocked away. Good hands by Allen, and Sheldon comes up with the steal. And here we got another break is here.
Look at the guy on the right in the red shirt, that security guy.
It was a hard foul.
Watch those hands, buddy.
No, just watch him look at the fans and be like, "You all right? All right, we're good."
I'm blaming this all on the officials tonight. It is totally their responsibility. That's a hard foul. That's a flagrant foul. And if they had taken care of the business earlier, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. Well, you can't eject her because you didn't eject her.
They did eject her.
They did eject her, yes.
Shout out Sophie Cunningham. Like, if you watch that replay, she doesn't even go for the ball. She just tackles
it. It's a
it.
hard foul. You could say it's a play on the ball.
But you want to say someone's going to stand up for your teammate. There you go. Right there.
So
I don't understand how on the initial play that Mabry didn't get thrown out of the game for just coming up and just decking Caitlin Clark.
So I guess, like, and I agree with, I don't know who the commentator was on the game, but I agree with the point that, yes, Mabry should have been thrown. Like, the officials did lose control of that game, because if you're going to throw out Sophie Cunningham there, you should have thrown out Mabry earlier when she decked Caitlin Clark. I'll say that to say, and I was texting you this last night, I like how much more physical the WNBA, because this is not the first instance we've seen in the WNBA like this. Like that league is more physical than the NBA. It just is. They let them play more, or they let them get away with a lot more. Yes.
If an NBA game's going on, John Morant's standing there, and I don't know, Anthony Simons runs up and just slams into him and decks him. That's more than a technical foul in the NBA. Like, you're probably getting thrown out for that. You might even get suspended for that.
Yeah.
Like for running up and just tackling somebody in the middle of somebody's not even in the play, running up and getting involved.
There would have definitely been ejections if that was an NBA game. Yes.
So it was crazy to me that like they only called technicals. The coach of the Fever in her post-game press conference last night ripped the officials. She was like, they lost control of this game. The officiating's terrible. This is a common problem in the WNBA is the officiating is not great. We had on the odds couple on Monday's show, I ran a clip of Kelsey Plum talking about the officiating in the WNBA and how awful it is and how she gets beat up every single night. And they never call anything. And she was like dropping F-bombs. She was furious with the way the officiating is going. So I don't know. Maybe we need to have a conversation about the officiating. But either way, the Indiana Fever now move on to the WNBA Commissioner's Cup Championship.
Playing the Lynx.
Best team in
the league, right?
Yeah. And but you know what? I was kind of surprised me. Do you know how much money you win for winning that thing? $500,000 for winning the Commissioner's Cup. You just get a bonus of $500,000.
Like that's split between the team.
I believe so. But like for the WNBA, that's a good nice amount of money. Yeah, because they have to go play in other countries in the offseason and stuff. Like that's a nice little chunk of change for one of those teams. And the WNBA has got to love it because now they got Caitlin Clark in the finals of that thing.
Yeah,
which means eyeballs.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I saw, we were talking earlier about that game between her and the Liberty over the weekend, and that was the third highest viewed WNBA game on network television ever. So yeah, I mean, the phenomenon continues.
Actually, that final game, the Commissioner's Cup final, is on Amazon. It's on Prime, so it's not even on network TV. So people are gonna have to go find it. But
yeah. Like, I guess that my thing with the WNBA, it's easier to find the games than it ever has been before, but it's very spread out. I know
what you're saying.
You have more access to it, right, than you ever have before.
But you got to look for it.
But you got to look for it, right? Like you're going to Prime, you're going to Ion, you're going to ESPN, right?
Is it harder to find an NHL game or a WNBA game?
I don't know, man. I feel like I've been stumbling into these WNBA games for the past, 2 seasons.
And there are fewer WNBA games than there are like NBA games.
Or NHL
there's
games.
Less teams.
Less
they only
teams.
play like twice a week. Like the schedule's not as frequent as WNBA. But yeah, so we get a big game in the finals of that one.
When is that going to? Do we know when that's going to be? When the
next week, I believe.
I don't know.
It doesn't have a date on there.
I don't know when it is, but it's cool. I mean, I'm down with the Commissioner's Cup. I'm not going to act like that I was super familiar with the Commissioner's Cup, but
I think it's their version of the in-season tournament, right?
Yeah.
July 1st. Tuesday, July 1st on Amazon Prime.
And I saw Caitlin get kind of annoyed at because they kept just questioning about the melee in that game last night, and she finally was like, anybody want to talk about the Commissioner's Cup? We're excited to be there.
I saw they were like, she didn't speak on it after the game. She didn't want to talk about the controversy.
Right, she let her coach kind of handle all of it. Yep.
Number 3.
So your boy, Memphis AD Ed Scott, was out yesterday. They were doing a thing where Memphis...
Yeah, they're doing that Tigers on Tour thing right now, and it's the coaches. It's I know Ryan Silverfield, Penny were there, Ed Scott.
I think they were in like Lakeland yesterday.
Yeah, they were in Lakeland yesterday. I guess they're doing this all over the Mid-South.
Penny was
going to these different spots.
Penny told my son he had good form on his jump shot yesterday. Oh, no, on his layup.
Oh, yeah, your kid's
at camp. He's at Penny camp right now. Yeah, Penny said, hey, that's nice form on your layup. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Did he say it to anybody else? He goes, yeah, like half the kids.
Sure.
I was like, all right.
Still.
It's so cool. You can tell people the rest of your life. Penny Hardaway said I had good form on my layup.
Man.
It's kind of cool.
It's kind of crazy that Penny camp, like all these years later, a new generation. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Ed Scott said yesterday, a little news, that Memphis has raised $201 million of the $226 needed for the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium renovations. And that'd be $120 million in state money plus the $50 million from FedEx founder Fred Smith and his family, plus fundraising.
This is how little I know about money and fundraising. Is like I assumed you don't build something until you have all the money.
I guess that's not true, right?
I guess not. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. We still got to go a little ways here.
And it's real. I've been over in that area a bunch lately, and it's really coming along. Like
I was there on Monday because last year they played all those games and it was just empty. Like and I was there Monday night.
Yeah, we called it the Liberty Hole.
Yeah, and you could see like the scaffolding and the ironwork, and you could see where that other side's going to go. Like it looks pretty advanced from where it was a year ago, and I assume by next season it'll be all finished. Is that the timeline?
I believe so. I think it's gonna be awesome. Like I'm excited that they again, like me and GP for years doing this show have talked about how much we would want an on-campus stadium, and it just never came to fruition. That's fine. I am glad that they're putting all this money into the Liberty Bowl and turning it into a nicer facility. I think it's gonna hopefully become a destination for fans, like just because they want to go check it out, right? Check out the new and improved Liberty Bowl, or Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
We got to have it done by October 18th when Chris Brown.
Yeah, and he talked about that too. Actually, somebody asked him about the Chris Brown concert.
The Breezy Bowl.
Somebody asked him about the Chris Brown concert. Ed Scott said, "For me, it's a win-win. It allows us to do something great for the city, bring in some more money, and allows us to bring in more money so we can pay for the stadium." I mean, dude. He's right. Like if you can get shows big enough to play at that stadium, that's awesome. I mean, they used to back in the day. I know that the Rolling Stones played there. I want to say GP saw like U2 play there. So they've had big, huge concerts at the stadium in the past. Now, obviously, they haven't done it for a long, long time.
Because now most people would just go to Nashville. If you're like a touring arena show. And I'm not arena, stadium show, and you're looking for a 60,000 seat venue. I think they mostly just play Nashville or who was it played Oxford last year?
But that's because we weren't an option, right?
Morgan Wallen played in Oxford,
so we weren't an option because the Liberty Bowl just wasn't doing concerts. So I hope that one goes really well. I hope a lot of people show out for it because that could be a really good thing going forward, especially with the new look stadium. So I'm excited about the future. We got to figure out. This conference situation eventually, but I'm excited. And Memphis football, they actually have a really fun home schedule this year. I know like AAC opponents or whatever, but they get like the bigger schools in the AAC coming in here. I know Tulane's coming here, Navy's coming here. I want to say either UAB or USF is coming here. You get the Arkansas game here this year. So they've actually got a really good home schedule this year, Memphis football does.
How's the team look?
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, Ryan said that recruiting's going as well as it's ever gone. When he talked yesterday, he said it's at an all-time. I believe the quote was recruiting's at an all-time high. Yeah. And we've obviously seen that on the field.
But like he has been recruiting great. One of those preseason polls had Memphis like 5th in the AAC.
Well, they got. I mean, you got to see it from whoever the starting quarterback is, right? Yeah. Like you lose Seth Hennigan, it's going to be a new quarterback. I don't think we know necessarily who the starter is going to be yet, and so that's obviously gonna be, you don't know who your starting quarterback is yet, and so they're not gonna put you number one, right? So I ain't that worried about it. I bet whoever it is will be good.
Number 4.
I was watching a lot of baseball last night.
What happened on the mound?
I hate to say it to Gary, I wore the Braves hat for a reason today. Because Gary, his Mets were playing my Braves. It's been an awful year for the Braves, just terrible, honestly. Like every time you think they're going to turn the corner and things are going to pick up, it never does. And it was hilarious that they finally turned the corner and things picked up a day ago when the Braves were playing the Mets, who've been our like lifelong nemesis enemies, and the Braves always seem to figure out a way for things to go better against the Mets, and they did yesterday. The Braves are down 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Load the bases against one of the Mets' best relievers, Reed Garrett, I think his name is. And the Big Bear, Marcell Ozuna, comes up to bat, bases loaded, works the count, and had a big hit.
Ozuna lines it down the left field line. Circle the bases, boys. The Braves are going to try to tie it. Verdugo will score as Lindor bobbles it. Marcell Ozuna delivers, and this ball game is tied.
I don't know if GP was there last night.
I don't either. I hope he was.
I didn't see him post anything. He might be are they playing tonight?
They're playing tonight and tomorrow.
I bet he's going to be one of those.
Tonight's, the Braves ended up winning the game. Acuna made an incredible catch. I don't know if we have that one too, but Acuna made.
No, I don't have it.
Soto got on base. And then Acuna made the catch, picked him off first. Game got to the 10th inning. The Braves win. Tonight for the Braves, Spencer Strider pitching. Fun to watch. Had a dozen strikeouts his last start. Like all of a sudden he's kind of hot. And then tomorrow for the Braves, Chris Sale, reigning Cy Young winner in the National League going. So the Braves got 2 more good starts coming. We'll see what happens. And maybe this is the Braves finally turning the corner. Finally. It's been all season. It's been just a disaster all season. You feel like, can we just get something to go our way? And even last night when they load the bases, I'm like, all right, well, now we're going to screw this up. And they didn't for the first time in all season. So, like, maybe that was it. But then College World Series happened, too, last night.
Yes.
Your Hogs.
Hogs, lifelong fan, lifelong appreciator of the Hogs baseball team. They have advanced. They beat the crap out of UCLA last night. They will play tonight in primetime against
the Tigers.
The Tigers of LSU. It just means more. And that should be fun. I think we're on ESPN again tonight.
6 o'clock our time on ESPN. And at 1 o'clock today, I believe, Louisville, who won a walk-off game yesterday, is in the I think they've won 2 walk-offs in the College World Series. They play in the winner's bracket against my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina's won 25 games in a row heading into this.
They don't play nobody.
I don't know. They had to get there.
They don't play nobody.
They had to get there. We ain't scared of no Hogs.
They don't play nobody.
We ain't scared of the Tigers.
I wonder if the Hogs are still the favorites to win the whole thing.
We ain't scared of the Cardinals.
They were, like, coming into the College World Series, the Hogs were the slight favorites to win the whole thing, but I'm not sure if that is still the case. But either way, I'll be watching tonight in my Hogs gear. I'm excited.
So Arkansas has lost 1 game, right? In this College World Series?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Because it's on the schedule, it says LSU, Arkansas tonight, and then Thursday, if necessary, LSU, Arkansas. But I thought they were in the loser bracket now.
Good question. I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah.
LSU beat Arkansas 4-1.
No, LSU is the favorite now, so I guess they're underdogs tonight.
You're not talking about the Jello shot competition.
LSU is Arkansas is favored in the game tonight, but LSU is the favorite to win the College World Series.
That's pretty weird.
Makes sense of that. Yeah.
All
right, next one.
Number 5.
So I have been immersed in the NBA draft for the last 3-4 weeks. Gary Parrish and I have been doing these draft podcasts for Grind City Media, the Draft Board Breakdown, presented by Southland. And so I've been studying all the draft permutations, possibilities, who's going to go where, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden on Sunday, the Grizzlies have a first-round pick. Now the Grizzlies are number 16 in the draft. So all of a sudden, all this becomes pretty relevant to us. And yesterday, ESPN.com dropped their latest mock draft. Jonathan Givony and Jeremy Wu, my guy, put out a mock draft. And they have the Grizzlies, who have the 16th pick in the first round. For now, there's still a chance that gets moved or something, or maybe they draft for somebody else or whatever. For now, they have the Grizzlies taking Jace Richardson from Michigan State with the 16th pick.
Which is interesting because that is exactly who they had the Orlando Magic taking with the 16th
Maybe they
pick
just think
before
he's
the
the
trade.
16th best player in the draft.
Well, it was funny because when they had that on their previous mock drafts and they had the description of why the Magic should take Jace Richardson, I'm reading the description thinking that is the exact reason why I think the Grizzlies should want to take Jace Richardson.
This thing says the Grizzlies are exactly the type of team that could be interested in an ultra-efficient, productive young prospect who rates highly in draft models that analytics-savvy teams like Memphis often pay attention to. He shot 41% from 3 last year. As Gary said, started the season on the bench, ended as their best player. You saw him really kind of come along as the season went along for Michigan State. The thing that scares me about him is, and we talked about this with Brevin Knight yesterday, you got John Morant, you got Scottie Pippen, and Jace Richardson at the Combine a couple weeks ago with no shoes on was 6 feet tall and half an inch.
And you've also got Cole Anthony. Who I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Grizzlies did put out a welcome to Memphis. I'm not saying that means anything, that means that he's going to be here long term, that they're not going to do another deal with him. But I don't know. Like I saw that and was like, okay, well, maybe he is part of the plans. I actually do think that it is important to have another ball handling guard on this team besides John Scotty.
I kind of hope it'd be Nick Clifford from Colorado State if he's around at that spot, like, because he can shoot.
I think highly of him. I watched him beat the crap out of my Tigers. Yeah,
we talked yesterday about you've lost a lot of shooting, and you got to find some outside shooting, scoring from somewhere. Maybe Clifford's he's 6'5", can play the two, can handle the ball, can create shots, all that stuff. I like him a lot. They also have in this mock draft one pick ahead of the Grizzlies, 15. They have the Thunder taking Colin Murray-Boyles out of South Carolina, who is a guy who I think a lot of people, he's pretty polarizing. Like, people are either like, well, he's a little short to be a big man. We've seen the Grizzlies, doesn't bother them to go draft guys who are not quite perfect analytics model guys, but he's so smart. He has such a good feel for the game, great defender, great post player, all that stuff. Could be an interesting fit for a Grizzlies team that needs a big. The other guy they have going right after the Grizzlies is Asa Newell out of Georgia, and I watched him play a lot this year. Go Dogs. Really good player. I feel like he needs a little more time to develop and build. He's skinny. Like, it's going to take him some time to put some muscle on and figure out his game. Might have a higher ceiling, especially offensively, than some of these other bigs. But I don't know. I guess the real question is, are we even going to use the pick? Like, we know they got to clear out some more money if they're going to sign Jaren to a long-term extension.
Yeah, we talked yesterday about, like, there's a potential Santi sign and trade on the table that could happen. I think that there's ways that they can, and we'll see what happens, like, with John Konchar's contract.
Yeah.
Like, are they able to move that somehow? I'm feeling pretty confident about their ability to be able to free up the money for this Jaren contract.
I think the Bane trade doesn't happen unless you know you're going to do all the other stuff.
I'm 100% with you there. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Hey, keep an eye out for these draft podcasts coming out. And then next Wednesday, the 25th, we're going to have the live draft show presented by Southland from here at FedEx Forum.
I'll be here.
Yeah, all of us will be here. All your favorite Grind City media personalities, including Bennett Doyle and myself.
Yeah. I'll be coming back from vacation, so I might
coming in hot.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, stumbling in. Yeah, potentially.
With a long beer. Oh, wait,
I'm already there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's take one more break. We'll come back with GP's Carry Out. You're watching The Gary Parrish Show here on Grind City Media.
Murray State is going to the College World Series. It's easy for me to pick a team because 1, I love an underdog. 2, I hate UCLA, and I see that opening round matchup. And 3, we are connected to the school's most famous alumni, Ja Morant of Murray State.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizzlies jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizzlies entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizzlies is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Welcome back to the Gary Parrish Show here on Grind City Media. Lang Whitaker sitting in all week with Bennett and Kyra. We've gone through a whole show. We've done a lot, learned a lot, talked about a lot. Let's get to GP's carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
I think we learned that it's always Memphis versus everybody. And that when that happens, Bennett, you and I and other people, we're here to put on for our city, right?
Yeah, I mean, I learned that ESPN dedicated a segment of sports talk television to crime in Memphis today, which is just kind of baffling to me.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's not like we're in the middle
of
the
yeah. It's not like we're in the middle of the NBA Finals.
A team won the Stanley Cup last night, the College World Series. Caitlin Clark,
right.
There's stuff going on.
That's just wild to me. Yeah, Stephen A. is. He's gone off the rails a little bit with this one. Like as I said earlier, I think he got what he wanted out of the whole thing, which is a lot of attention, and we're guilty of giving him the attention as well as everybody else. But I don't know, man. What a time! Wow.
Let's invite him on and play solitaire with him.
Yeah. I do love the new nickname, Solitaire Steve. That's really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right.
What's today's biggest game?
I guess we'll go College World Series. Arkansas LSU tonight on ESPN. The line has moved. It was literally a few minutes ago. Arkansas minus 130. It's moved to Arkansas minus 125.
Somebody in the chat pointed out Arkansas lost LSU earlier in the College World Series. So if they beat LSU, they got to play again tomorrow.
Yep.
For the deciding one, I guess. So
okay.
I don't know.
Look at the schedule.
Click on that Thursday button.
Because they played UCLA last night, but whatever.
Click on that Thursday button, see what it says.
It says, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, elimination game if necessary. So if they lose tonight, they're done.
Yeah.
I can't.
The back's against the wall.
This can't end.
The Hogs are against the wall.
This cannot end. Yeah. I need this. No team I've ever rooted for has ever won anything in my lifetime. Like the Orioles won before I was born. Won World Series before I was born.
Only team that's won anything that I root for is the Braves. And we play tonight. Actually, I should also point out I'm not happy with the managerial situation with the Braves. I don't know if you know this. I'm an owner of the Braves.
What?
I'm one of the Braves owners. They're a publicly traded team. I bought 31 shares for Greg Maddux. Actually.
Wait, I thought the Packers were like the only team that did that.
No, other teams now have sort of become. They're not a publicly owned team necessarily. Liberty Media spun the Braves off into their own stock.
Okay.
And I bought 31 shares because Greg Maddux is one of my favorite Braves.
How's it looking right now?
I keep waiting. I still haven't gotten my shareholder vote situation, but I want Snicker out of there.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's kind of nice to have a voice.
It's cool. It feels great.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe I should buy.
You're invested in this.
Maybe I should buy 10 shares for Chipper Jones.
Right.
Maybe 25 for Andrew Jones. And I was like, Maddox is like my guy, so I got to go 31 for Mad Dog.
Yeah. Okay.
As a Braves owner, I feel like we're good. Somebody says bring back Bobby Cox. I'm all for it.
All right, man. Well, hey, good luck tonight. I didn't realize how much you had on the line in this thing.
Chris Sale is starting for the Braves tonight. He has 29 strikeouts in his last 3 games.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good omen for the Braves.
All right.
What are we watching on TV?
Well, like you mentioned, you got Braves Mets again. As far as like stuff to watch, not sports, there's a new documentary that just dropped on Max called Surviving Ohio State. I
saw that.
An exploration of the Ohio State University sex abuse scandal and the survivors' ongoing fight to hold the school accountable. So that just dropped on Max. I just watched, I don't know if you realize that tomorrow is a pretty massive movie. We're not going to be here tomorrow. It's a company holiday. But
what is it?
What's coming out tomorrow? 28 years later.
Is it 28 years since that first one came out?
Yeah, that was 28 days later.
I know. It's been like 20. It feels like that was 28 years
we had 28
ago.
weeks in between. Yeah. We never got months. We never got 28 months later. I don't know what happened there. But this one it's about the zombie apocalypse in the UK. Yeah. This one is actually getting a lot of good buzz. I'm
Danny
really
Boyle
excited.
directed?
I love the first two. Yeah, Danny Boyle, Alex Garland wrote the screenplay. I'm really excited about this one. Aaron Taylor Johnson's the star of it. Ray Fiennes is in it. They got like a really good cast for this thing. And I love the first two. I've got them on Blu-ray. I love them.
Which
is a collectible Blu-ray now.
You have a small child also, and like we're always looking for stuff to watch as a family, stuff we can,
Oh yeah, 28 days later.
No, not that.
Yeah,
there's a show on Nat Geo.
Okay.
Just started on Nat Geo called Underdogs, and Ryan Reynolds is the narrator of it.
Okay.
It's a animal show. It's a nature show, but it's about all the weird animals they never make nature shows about.
Oh, that's cool.
So the first episode has like this worm that sprays glue on its enemies. They talk about like the one animal that has large genitals. There's lots of weird, just random stuff like that. And Ryan Reynolds kind of just does the Deadpool thing. He's just joking around and being funny with it. Like it's actually pretty good, but it's a good family show. So that's
what's it called?
Underdogs. It's on National Geographic Channel, Nat Geo.
Okay, we might check that. My kid's obsessed with bugs right now.
It's a good show for that.
We have all these bug houses in my backyard. Yeah, it's really weird.
Last night I was sitting on the couch watching the Braves and I saw mosquitoes. Because I live on the water. There was a couple of mosquitoes flying just in midair under the ceiling fan. And I was like, I stood up and was doing this and couldn't catch them. So I went and got the dust buster. I felt like in Tommy Boy when David Spade's trying to get the moss out of the hotel room. I felt like I was that. It worked though. I got him out.
Right on. I'm going to try to go check out 28 Years Later tomorrow at some point if I can.
Doesn't come out Friday? Comes out Thursday?
Yeah, well, they always say Friday, but like it's coming out here tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm going to go try to check it out.
What's the best thing we've read?
When I used to do a podcast with Rick Fox, he used to always act.
You did a podcast with Rick Fox?
Yeah, for NBA.com. But Rick always acts in these. He started out acting in big movies, right? Like he was in those Spike Lee movies, and he was in He Got Game, and all that stuff. And then he started being in all these other movies, like Hallmark movies and different stuff.
I remember.
So we used to always joke with Rick that he was always acting in movies that don't come out on Friday. Like Rick was in these movies that came out on Tuesday or Wednesday or these random days of the week. Best thing we read, there's a story on ESPN.com about Scott Pollard. Remember Scott Pollard, NBA center, played at Kansas, big time center from Kansas, played in the NBA for a long time. Had heart problems, had a thing where they weren't quite sure if he was going to make it. He needed a heart transplant, and he had to come to the Vanderbilt hospital to get on the list for a heart transplant. Eventually got a heart transplant. Wrote a letter to the family that had donated the heart. They don't let you know who it is, right? He wrote a letter and was like, hey, he has several kids himself. Wrote a letter. It turns out the other family, it was a father who had passed away, had a couple young kids also. The problem, Scott Pollard's like 7'1", so you have to have a large heart for a large person if you're doing a heart transplant. So they found somebody, he had heart disease, ran in his family. They found a heart that was suitable, got it there, put it in, it worked. It's worked out. He wrote a letter to the family. The family wrote back, and they were like, we would love to get to know you. And so now Scott Pollard has become friends with this family and friends with the guy's kids. The guy who passed away, whose heart he ended up getting. And they've become sort of this big group now that's all cool with each other.
That's awesome.
It's on ESPN.com. I can't remember the name of this story, but just search Scott Pollard, Scott with one T.
Okay.
And read that. It's a great story on ESPN.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
I'm playing golf.
Yeah, we're not going to be here tomorrow.
We have a day off.
Yes, we do.
It's the celebration of Juneteenth.
Yep.
Company-wide day off. So we're all off tomorrow, but we'll be back here on Friday. And Friday, who do you normally have in on Friday?
JB, but
Jessica,
she's not going to be here, so we'll figure it out. Yep.
Yeah, we'll find somebody else to come in.
Yep.
But that's it.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
Thank y'all hanging out. We'll be back on Friday, like we said. Stay tuned. Chris Vernon's going to be on in about 28 minutes, and then we'll see you on Friday back here on Grind City Media. You're watching The Gary Parrish Show. Appreciate y'all.